Have you ever met someone and instantly felt a certain way about them, even though you couldn't quite put your finger on why? That's your intuition, picking up on subtle cues, little things like body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice that give you glimpses into their thoughts and emotions. This natural ability to read people is a powerful skill, but imagine if you could refine it, turning those gut feelings into conscious understanding. Whether you're meeting someone for the first time or deepening an existing connection, understanding what lies beneath the surface can change everything. Learning to read people isn't just useful in casual social settings, it's a valuable skill in every area of life. Whether you're navigating a tricky business negotiation, trying to understand a loved one better, or simply wanting to avoid misunderstandings, honing this ability can help you communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships, and even spot red flags before they escalate. It's about creating deeper, more meaningful connections with those around you, while also sharpening your emotional intelligence. Be ready to dive in and unravel the complexities of human behavior. Whether you're looking to enhance your personal relationships or improve your professional interactions, this journey into the psychology of reading people is going to be eye-opening. Hello, Stoic family. Welcome back to yet another interesting topic. Today we'll be unlocking and sharing the secrets of human interaction, with 14 insightful and actionable tips that will help you decode and master the art of reading people, the unspoken language of body movements, eye contact, facial expressions, and more. From spotting subtle signs of discomfort to recognizing true confidence, these techniques will equip you with the tools you need to better understand what people are really saying, whether they're aware of it or not. If today is your first time of joining, please do us a favor to subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss out other interesting topics. Share to others to be part of this family where we share and discuss issues that can help us live a truthful and meaningful life. Now let's dive into the video. Unlocking emotions through facial expressions. Facial expressions are perhaps the most direct and honest indicators of someone's emotional state, offering insights that go far beyond what words can convey. Our faces are constantly in motion, responding instinctively to the emotions we feel, often without us even realizing it. For instance, a genuine smile is not just about the mouth, it's about the eyes too. When someone is truly happy or excited, their eyes tend to smile along with their mouth, creating what's called a Duchenne smile, characterized by crinkling around the eyes. On the other hand, a forced or polite smile may lack this warmth, limited to just the lips without much expression elsewhere on the face. Beyond smiles, consider the subtle movements of the eyebrows. Raised eyebrows can indicate surprise, skepticism, or curiosity, depending on the context. A furrowed brow might reveal confusion, worry, or deep concentration. Similarly, a fleeting smirk can betray feelings of sarcasm, amusement, or even contempt, while a slight frown might signal disapproval, sadness, or frustration. Paying attention to micro-expressions, those brief, involuntary facial movements that occur in just a fraction of a second, can be particularly revealing. These micro-expressions often flash across a person's face before they have time to consciously control their reaction, providing an unfiltered glimpse into their true feelings. For instance, you might catch a quick flash of anger or disgust, even if the person is trying to mask their emotions with a calm demeanor. By honing your ability to recognize and interpret these subtle facial cues, you can develop a much deeper understanding of what someone is really feeling, even if they're not saying much. Whether in social settings, professional environments, or personal relationships, being attuned to these expressions can help you navigate interactions more effectively, avoiding misunderstandings and building stronger, more empathetic connections. Number 2. Cracking the code of fidgeting. Fidgeting is one of those behaviors that can easily be misinterpreted. When someone is constantly adjusting their clothing, playing with their hair, tapping their fingers, or shifting in their seat, it's tempting to assume they're bored, disinterested, or even impatient. However, fidgeting is far more complex than it appears on the surface and can often reveal much more about a person's internal state than simple boredom. In many cases, fidgeting is a sign of nervousness or discomfort, particularly in social situations where someone might feel out of their depth or anxious. For example, when people play with their jewelry, twist a lock of hair, or adjust their posture repeatedly, it's often an unconscious way of releasing tension. These small, repetitive motions can act as self-soothing mechanisms, helping them cope with stress or uncertainty in the moment. Rather than indicating a lack of interest, fidgeting might actually reveal that the person is deeply engaged but feeling overwhelmed by the situation or conversation. It's also important to consider that different types of fidgeting can carry different meanings. For instance, someone adjusting their sleeves or straightening their clothes could be a sign of self-consciousness or insecurity about their appearance, especially in a formal or unfamiliar setting. On the other hand, habitual gestures like tapping a foot or bouncing a leg might simply be a sign of nervous energy or restlessness, unrelated to the interaction at hand. Understanding the context is key when interpreting fidgeting. If you're in a high-stakes situation like a job interview, presentation, or difficult conversation, the person's fidgeting may be a sign that they're feeling anxious about making a good impression or nervous about how they're being perceived. In these cases, a little patience and empathy can go a long way. Rather than jumping to conclusions or assuming disinterest, try to create a more relaxed atmosphere or reassure them that they're doing well. Keep in mind that fidgeting doesn't always mean something negative. Some people naturally have more physical energy or find it difficult to sit still for long periods, even when they're fully engaged in the conversation. Others may fidget as a form of concentration, using these small movements to stay focused on the task or discussion at hand. By observing not just the act of fidgeting, but the context and the overall emotional tone of the interaction, you can gain a much clearer understanding of what's really going on beneath the surface. This awareness allows for more empathetic communication, where you can respond to what the person truly needs, whether it's reassurance, a break, or simply a little more understanding. 3. Emotions in every word. The way someone speaks can often reveal far more than the words themselves. Tone, pace, and volume are the unspoken languages of emotion that can provide deep insights into a person's true feelings, even if their words seem neutral or calm. In fact, sometimes these vocal cues contradict the message being conveyed, making it crucial to listen closely not just to what someone is saying, but how they are saying it. For example, when someone speaks quickly with short, clipped sentences, it can be a clear sign of nervousness or anxiety. Rapid speech often suggests that the person is trying to get through the conversation quickly, perhaps because they are uncomfortable or feeling overwhelmed. They may stumble over their words, repeat themselves, or rush through their points, hoping to avoid lingering on the subject. This could happen in a high-pressure situation like a presentation, a difficult conversation, or even when they are excited but unsure about how their message will be received. On the other hand, a slow, monotone voice can signal something entirely different. While we might assume it's a sign of boredom, it could also indicate that the person is tired, emotionally drained, or simply not as engaged as they might otherwise be. When someone's voice lacks the usual inflections that indicate enthusiasm or energy, it's a good clue that their emotions are subdued, even if they're trying to maintain a neutral appearance. Volume is another key factor to consider. A person speaking too softly might be feeling insecure or hesitant about expressing their opinion. Their low volume can be a subconscious way of trying to make themselves smaller in the conversation, perhaps out of fear of judgment or rejection. Conversely, someone speaking too loudly could be trying to overcompensate for a lack of confidence, or might be experiencing heightened emotions like anger or frustration. The intensity of their voice can serve as a shield, projecting a sense of control or power that they might not genuinely feel. Additionally, the cadence or rhythm of someone's speech is an important indicator. Pauses between words, for example, can suggest thoughtfulness or hesitation, as though the person is carefully choosing their words to avoid making a mistake. Alternatively, drawn-out pauses might signal that they're unsure of what to say next, or are holding back something they don't want to reveal. It's also worth noting that sometimes emotions can leak into a person's voice, even when they are trying to hide them. For instance, a voice might quiver when someone is anxious or emotional, even if they're trying to appear calm. In tense situations, you might hear the sharpness in someone's tone that reveals underlying frustration or anger, even if their words seem polite. Similarly, a person's voice might become more melodic or enthusiastic when they're genuinely happy or excited, even if they're discussing a mundane topic. To truly understand someone's emotional state, pay attention to the subtle variations in their voice. Is their tone warm and inviting, or is there an edge of irritation? Are they speeding up as they speak, signaling excitement, or slowing down, suggesting reluctance? Are they raising their voice to assert dominance or lowering it to convey hesitation? These vocal cues, combined with the words they use, will give you a far more complete picture of their current emotional landscape. By tuning into the emotions embedded in someone's speech, you can better respond to their needs, whether it's offering reassurance, giving them space to express themselves, or simply recognizing that they might be feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Developing this skill will not only make you a more empathetic communicator, but also help you build stronger, more authentic connections with the people around you. Number 4, the power of the first impression. First impressions are often lasting, shaping the way we perceive someone long after the initial meeting. They are formed within seconds and can significantly influence the dynamics of future interactions. One of the most telling moments during a first encounter is the handshake. Whether you're in a professional setting or meeting someone in a social context, the handshake is one of the first physical gestures exchanged, and it carries a wealth of unspoken information. A firm, confident handshake often signals that the person is self-assured, comfortable in their own skin, and ready to engage. This doesn't mean it has to be overpowering, just steady and deliberate enough to convey confidence without crossing into aggressiveness. A strong handshake can make a powerful first impression, subtly communicating that the person is present, grounded, and capable. On the other hand, a limp handshake can send the opposite message. It might suggest uncertainty, shyness, or even a lack of interest in the interaction. Of course, cultural norms and personal comfort levels also come into play here, so it's important not to jump to conclusions too quickly. However, if a limp handshake is paired with poor eye contact or withdrawn body language, it can point to insecurity or discomfort. Eye contact is another critical component of that initial interaction. When someone maintains steady eye contact, it often indicates that they are comfortable, engaged, and open. It shows that they are present in the moment, listening, and interested in connecting. People who avoid eye contact, on the other hand, may come across as disinterested, shy, or even dishonest. While eye contact norms can vary culturally, it's a universal cue for gauging someone's comfort level and their willingness to engage with you openly. Beyond the handshake and eye contact, first impressions are also shaped by body language, tone of voice, and even the posture someone adopts during those first few moments. For example, Someone who stands tall with their shoulders back is likely projecting confidence, while someone who slouches might appear less self-assured. These subtle signals play a crucial role in how we form our initial judgments about someone's character, attitude, and overall demeanor. Another important factor in first impressions is the level of enthusiasm someone brings into the interaction. A warm, genuine greeting with a smile can instantly set a positive tone for the conversation, making the other person feel welcome and valued. In contrast, a lackluster or overly formal greeting might create distance and make the interaction feel less personal or even strained. The emotional energy you bring into that first moment can set the stage for how the rest of the interaction will unfold. However, it's important to remember that first impressions are not a one-way street. While you're picking up on someone else's handshake, eye contact, and body language, they are also forming an impression of you. Your own confidence, warmth, and openness can influence how they respond to you, creating a dynamic that either fosters trust and rapport or sets up barriers. So while it's important to be observant of the signals others are giving off, it's equally essential to be aware of the cues you're sending. The impact of a first impression can extend far beyond that initial meeting. Whether it's a job interview, a potential partnership, or a personal introduction, the way you come across in those first few seconds can leave a lasting mark. People are more likely to trust, respect, and feel comfortable with someone who projects confidence and warmth from the outset. On the flip side, a poor first impression can be difficult to shake, even if the person later reveals different facets of their personality. In essence, mastering the art of making a strong first impression is about striking the right balance between confidence and approachability. Pay attention to the little things, your handshake, eye contact, and the energy you bring into the conversation. These subtle cues, though seemingly small, play a significant role in determining how others perceive you and how the interaction will develop. So the next time you reach out for a handshake or greet someone new, remember that these initial moments are more than just formalities. They are opportunities to set the stage for meaningful connections, strong relationships, and positive interactions. You can take this as a cue to continue the conversation, deepen the connection, or explore new topics. On the other hand, if their smile feels forced or out of place, it might be an indication that they're feeling uncomfortable or disinterested, allowing you to adjust your approach or give them space. Beyond the individual interaction, smiles can also shape the emotional atmosphere of a group. In a social setting, a person who frequently smiles and makes others feel comfortable often becomes a sort of emotional anchor, lifting the mood and setting a positive tone. This can be incredibly powerful in group dynamics, whether you're leading a team at work, hosting a gathering, or simply trying to foster good vibes in a casual setting. It's also worth noting that smiling is contagious. When someone smiles at you, your brain is wired to respond in kind. This phenomenon, known as mirroring, helps build rapport and strengthen relationships. When you smile genuinely, it can help others relax, feel appreciated, and connect with you on a deeper level. So while it's important to be able to read others' smiles, it's equally important to be mindful of the signals you're sending with your own. However, there are times when a lack of smiling can be equally revealing. If someone who is usually warm and engaging suddenly stops smiling or seems withdrawn, it might indicate that something is wrong. In these cases, the absence of a smile can be just as telling as the presence of one. Maybe they're stressed, upset, or distracted by something unrelated to the conversation. Being attuned to these changes can help you respond with empathy and understanding, potentially offering support or simply recognizing that the person may need space. In conclusion, smiles are far more than just facial expressions. They are powerful tools for communication. Whether someone is smiling out of genuine joy, politeness, or discomfort, being able to read the subtleties behind their smile can provide valuable clues about their true feelings and state of mind. So the next time you're in a conversation, take a moment to observe not just whether someone is smiling, but how they're smiling. It might reveal more than their words ever could. Unveiling the eyes. Eyes are often called the windows to the soul for a good reason. They can convey emotions, thoughts, and intentions without a single word being spoken. The way someone uses or avoids eye contact can reveal a wealth of information about their feelings and mental state. When someone avoids eye contact, it can be a sign of discomfort, anxiety, or even guilt. They might be feeling overwhelmed by the situation or unsure of how to handle the conversation, leading them to avert their gaze. In some cases, avoiding eye contact could also indicate disinterest or disengagement, especially if the person's attention seems to be wandering or they keep glancing at their phone or surroundings. On the flip side, strong and steady eye contact often signals confidence and engagement. When someone looks you directly in the eye, it shows they are fully present and focused on the conversation. In professional settings, maintaining eye contact during a discussion can project authority and trustworthiness. In personal interactions, it helps to build rapport and fosters a sense of connection. However, it's important to note that too much eye contact, if it becomes intense or prolonged, can sometimes feel intrusive or aggressive. A good balance of eye contact, where the person looks away occasionally but always returns to engage, is often a sign of comfort and sincerity. Additionally, where the eyes linger can reveal what's truly capturing someone's attention. If someone glances away from you frequently, especially towards distractions like their phone, it could indicate that their mind is wandering and they may not be fully invested in the interaction. On the other hand, if their gaze follows the topic of discussion, focusing on a specific object or a person you're talking about, it shows that they're thinking deeply or considering what's being said. Moreover, the subtle movements of the eyes can also be telling. Rapid blinking might suggest someone is feeling stressed or overwhelmed, while dilated pupils can indicate excitement or attraction. Even the direction in which someone looks when they're thinking, upward, downward, or to the side, can hint at whether they are recalling a memory, imagining a scenario, or processing emotions. Being mindful of these nuances will help you understand not just what someone is saying, but how they feel about it, offering deeper insights into the dynamics of the interaction. The eyes are incredibly expressive, so the next time you're in a conversation, take note of the little movements and expressions within someone's gaze. They can reveal far more than words ever could. Number 7. Cracking the code of fidgeting. Fidgeting is one of the most common nonverbal cues people exhibit when they're feeling uncomfortable or nervous. Whether it's playing with their hair, tapping fingers, adjusting clothing, or shifting in their seat, fidgeting serves as an outlet for anxiety or stress. It's an automatic, often unconscious way that the body responds to discomfort. However, it's important to remember that fidgeting doesn't always signal disinterest or boredom. In fact, it can often be the opposite. Many people fidget when they're overwhelmed by a social situation or trying to find their footing in a conversation. When you notice someone fidgeting, the key is to understand the context. If you're discussing a difficult or emotional topic, the person may fidget as a way to manage their feelings. For example, they might start playing with their jewelry or straightening their sleeves when asked a probing question that makes them feel vulnerable. In such cases, fidgeting serves as a coping mechanism for stress or anxiety. It's a way to channel nervous energy into a repetitive motion that provides some comfort. Fidgeting can also indicate social discomfort. In situations where someone feels out of place, such as at a networking event or during a tense meeting, They may use fidgeting as a way to distract themselves from their nervousness. They might shuffle their feet, twist a ring, or constantly check their watch. While this behavior might seem like they're disengaged, they may just be grappling with feelings of insecurity or social anxiety. It's also helpful to note that some people fidget out of habit. They might not be nervous or uncomfortable at all, but simply used to constantly moving their hands or legs. In these cases, the person might appear restless even when they're fully focused on the conversation. The key is to watch for changes in their body language. If someone who was initially calm starts fidgeting, it could be a sign that they're feeling stressed or that the conversation is touching on sensitive topics. Finally, don't overlook the role of cultural differences in fidgeting. In some cultures, certain types of fidgeting or gestures might carry different meanings or connotations. For example, avoiding eye contact or shifting in a seat might be considered polite or respectful in one culture, but a sign of unease or dishonesty in another. Always take cultural context into account when interpreting body language. Ultimately, fidgeting provides important clues about someone's emotional state. The next time you notice someone fiddling with their watch, adjusting their hair, or moving restlessly, resist the urge to jump to conclusions. Instead, consider the situation and the person's overall demeanor. Fidgeting might just be their way of navigating an uncomfortable moment. Understanding these subtle cues will allow you to respond with greater empathy and insight, making your interactions smoother and more meaningful. 8. Understanding silence. Silence, often underestimated, can speak volumes in a conversation. While many people focus on the words being said, the moments of quiet in between can reveal just as much, if not more, about someone's thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Silence can take many forms. It could be a brief pause before someone answers a question, a longer gap where the conversation seems to stall, or even a more profound stillness when no words are exchanged at all. Each type of silence carries a unique meaning depending on the context and the person involved. When someone pauses before responding, it often indicates that they are thinking deeply about their next words. This kind of silence shows they're being deliberate and thoughtful, carefully considering how they want to express themselves. If you're discussing something serious, like a personal issue or a complex decision, this reflective silence suggests that the person is genuinely engaged and trying to offer a well-considered response. In these moments, resist the urge to fill the silence. Give them the space they need to gather their thoughts. Pushing for a quick answer might rush their thinking and could lead to a less honest or incomplete reply. On the other hand, silence can sometimes indicate discomfort or disagreement. When someone becomes quiet after a statement or question, they might be wrestling with something they don't feel comfortable discussing openly. This could happen in situations where emotions are running high, or when the conversation touches on sensitive topics. If you notice the person withdrawing into silence, their body language can offer further clues. Are they crossing their arms, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting? These signs, combined with silence, could suggest that they are either unsettled by the conversation or unsure of how to proceed. In these cases, it's important to gently probe if they'd like to share more, or simply give them space to express their feelings when they're ready. In some instances, silence might be a signal of nonverbal disagreement. If someone remains quiet when you expect feedback or a response, it could mean they don't agree with what's being said, but aren't ready or willing to express their dissent. Perhaps they don't want to cause conflict, or they feel their opinion may not be well received. This kind of silence often requires sensitivity. If the conversation seems strained, consider rephrasing your point or inviting them to share their perspective in a way that feels safe and open. Moreover, silence can sometimes create emotional distance. In situations where someone feels overwhelmed, upset, or simply uninterested, they might retreat into silence as a way of disengaging. This can happen during arguments, when someone shuts down to avoid escalating the conflict, or in casual settings where a person loses interest in the conversation. If silence persists for too long, it can lead to feelings of disconnect between the parties involved. Recognizing when silence is a sign of withdrawal versus thoughtful reflection is key to maintaining effective communication. If you sense emotional distancing, a kind gesture or a gentle question like, "Is everything okay?" can invite the person back into the conversation and show that you're attuned to their feelings. Lastly, it's important to recognize that silence can also be a comfortable space shared between two people. In relationships built on trust and understanding, silence doesn't have to be awkward or filled with tension. Sometimes, sitting together in silence can feel intimate, signaling a sense of mutual respect and comfort. If both parties are at ease, silence can serve as a meaningful moment of connection where words aren't necessary to feel understood. In any conversation, understanding silence is about reading the situation, the relationship, and the emotional undercurrents at play. Pay attention to what follows the silence. Does the person become more thoughtful, or do they retreat? Are they at ease, or is there a shift in their body language that suggests discomfort? Silence is rarely empty. It's often loaded with meaning. When you become attuned to the nuances of silence, you gain a deeper insight into the emotional landscape of the person you're engaging with. Number 9. Nodding and subtext. Nodding is a powerful nonverbal cue that often goes unnoticed in its complexity. While a simple nod might seem like a straightforward gesture of agreement or acknowledgement, the frequency, timing, and intensity of nodding can reveal far more about someone's engagement, emotions, and intentions during a conversation. Learning to read these subtleties can give you deeper insights into how someone truly feels about what's being discussed. First and foremost, frequent nodding usually signals that the person is highly engaged and invested in the conversation. When someone nods consistently, it's often their way of encouraging the speaker, showing that they are not only listening, but are also eager to demonstrate their understanding and alignment. This is particularly common when someone is speaking to a person they respect or admire, such as a boss, teacher, or expert. In these cases, the person may nod frequently as a form of silent affirmation, essentially saying, "I'm with you," or "I understand," without interrupting the flow of conversation. It can also indicate a desire to remain in the good graces of the speaker, especially in situations where they want to come across as agreeable or attentive. However, frequent nodding doesn't always equal genuine agreement. Sometimes people nod excessively in an attempt to avoid conflict or to mask uncertainty. For instance, during a business meeting or debate, someone might nod repeatedly even if they don't fully understand or agree with what's being said. In such cases, the nodding might be more about social politeness or anxiety rather than actual comprehension or approval. In such cases, the nodding might be more about social politeness or anxiety rather than actual comprehension or approval. It's crucial to pair the nodding behavior with other nonverbal cues, like facial expressions or posture, to determine whether the person is truly engaged or simply trying to go along with the conversation to avoid standing out. Conversely, less frequent or absent nodding can be a sign of disengagement or detachment. If someone rarely nods while you're speaking, it could indicate that they are either not fully focused, perhaps preoccupied with their own thoughts, or that they disagree with what is being said, but aren't vocalizing their dissent. People who remain still or don't nod at all might also be bored or indifferent, particularly in casual conversations or situations where they feel the topic isn't relevant or interesting to them. In group settings, this can signal that they aren't actively participating in the conversation or feel marginalized, which could be an opportunity for you to re-engage them by asking for their opinion or perspective directly. Timing plays a key role as well. When someone nods in sync with what's being said, it shows they are following the conversation closely and reacting in real time. These well-timed nods usually indicate sincere understanding and active listening, especially if paired with consistent eye contact and open body language. On the other hand, if a person nods delayed or out of rhythm with the conversation, it could suggest that they are processing information more slowly or feeling unsure about what's being discussed. Delayed nods might also indicate hesitation. Perhaps they're not entirely convinced, but are still trying to keep up with the conversation flow. Another layer to consider is the intensity of the nod. A subtle, small nod usually conveys quiet acknowledgement or agreement, while a more exaggerated nod might signal eagerness or even impatience, as if the person is saying, "Yes, I get it, let's move on." In some cases, an exaggerated nod could also indicate sarcasm or frustration, particularly if it's accompanied by crossed arms or a lack of eye contact. Understanding the emotional undertones behind the nod can help you read between the lines and respond more effectively to the person's true feelings. It's also worth noting that nodding has cultural variations. In some cultures, nodding is less frequent or used differently. For instance, in certain regions, nodding may not be as clear an indicator of agreement and could be used more sparingly or for other purposes. Being mindful of these cultural nuances is important, especially in international settings where body language norms may differ. Ultimately, nodding is a subtle yet significant nonverbal cue that can enrich your understanding of someone's engagement and emotions during a conversation. By paying close attention to how often, when, and how intensely someone nods, you can gain valuable insights into their thought process and emotional state. Whether they're expressing genuine interest, agreement, or something else entirely, nodding holds layers of meaning that, when decoded, can transform how you connect with and understand others. 10. Deciphering arm crossings. Arm crossing is one of the most ubiquitous and often misunderstood gestures in human interaction. At first glance, it may appear to be a simple and harmless posture, but it can carry a wealth of meaning depending on the context and the individual's emotional state. When someone crosses their arms, it can evoke a range of interpretations, from defensiveness and discomfort to warmth and self-comfort. Understanding this gesture is essential for effectively reading people and responding appropriately. Firstly, one of the most common interpretations of crossed arms is defensiveness. When individuals fold their arms across their chest, it may suggest they are creating a barrier between themselves and the outside world. This gesture often arises in situations where the person feels threatened, judged, or insecure. For instance, during a tense discussion or confrontation, someone might instinctively cross their arms as a way to shield themselves from perceived emotional or verbal attacks. In such cases, it's crucial to recognize this behavior as a signal that the person might need reassurance or a softer approach to help them feel safe and open up. However, it's essential to resist jumping to conclusions. While crossed arms can indicate discomfort, they can also simply be a comfortable resting position. Some people naturally gravitate towards this posture out of habit, and it doesn't necessarily imply a negative emotional state. For instance, someone might cross their arms during a chilly day to keep warm, or they may do it as a physical habit without any emotional significance. Observing other cues, such as their facial expressions, eye contact, and overall body language, can provide additional context that helps you better understand the intent behind their crossed arms. Moreover, crossed arms can sometimes signify a protective instinct. In scenarios where individuals feel vulnerable, such as discussing personal matters or sharing emotions, crossing arms may serve as a subconscious shield. In these instances, it may be helpful to approach the conversation with sensitivity and empathy, perhaps by gently encouraging them to share their thoughts or feelings. Offering a safe space for expression can help them feel more at ease, which may lead them to uncross their arms and engage more openly. It's also worthwhile to consider the cultural context when interpreting crossed arms. In some cultures, crossing arms might be a typical posture during conversations, suggesting comfort or thoughtfulness rather than defensiveness. Familiarizing yourself with these cultural nuances can prevent misunderstandings and enable more effective communication across different backgrounds. Another aspect to consider is the timing of the arm crossing. If someone crosses their arms during a moment of vulnerability, such as when discussing a difficult topic, it may indicate that they are feeling overwhelmed or exposed. Conversely, if they were relaxed and engaged prior to the topic shift, but suddenly cross their arms, it can be a clear signal that the subject has triggered discomfort. Being aware of these shifts allows you to respond with empathy, either by changing the topic or by offering supportive words to help them navigate their feelings. Additionally, the frequency and duration of the arm crossing can also provide clues about a person's emotional state. For instance, if someone occasionally crosses and uncrosses their arms, it may reflect fluctuating comfort levels throughout the conversation. On the other hand, a prolonged arm-crossing stance might indicate a more entrenched feeling of discomfort or resistance. Being observant of these variations can help you gauge how well the individual is processing the conversation and whether they may need encouragement to relax and engage more fully. Ultimately, deciphering arm crossings is about paying attention to the broader context and the individual's unique behavioral patterns. By considering the environment, their body language, and the emotional climate of the conversation, you can better understand what their crossed arms might signify. This awareness not only enhances your ability to read people, but also helps foster deeper, more empathetic connections. Instead of jumping to conclusions, take a moment to interpret the cues and respond in a way that encourages openness and trust. By doing so, you'll create a more supportive atmosphere for meaningful conversations. 11. The clothes they wear. The clothing someone chooses to wear is not merely a matter of fabric and style. It's a vivid expression of their identity, mood, and personal values. When you encounter someone for the first time, their outfit often serves as your initial introduction, communicating volumes before a single word is spoken. This nonverbal cue can reveal significant insights into how they see themselves and how they wish to be perceived by others. Consider the context in which an outfit is worn. For instance, someone dressed in a tailored suit and polished shoes at a business meeting may be signaling professionalism, ambition, and a desire to be taken seriously. Their choice reflects an understanding of the environment and an intention to convey authority and competence. In contrast, someone in a relaxed, casual outfit like jeans and a t-shirt may communicate comfort, creativity, or even a laid-back approach to life. This attire can suggest they value authenticity over pretense, or that they prioritize comfort in their interactions. Mood and emotion clothing can also be a window into a person's mood and emotional state. Bright, vibrant colors often reflect joy, enthusiasm, and positivity, while darker colors might convey seriousness, introspection, or even sadness. For example, someone wearing a colorful floral dress may exude confidence and a cheerful disposition, whereas another person in muted tones might be signaling a more reflective or reserved mood. Recognizing these color associations can deepen your understanding of the emotional landscape of the individual you're engaging with. Additionally, the style of clothing can reveal aspects of personality. Someone who opts for an eclectic mix of patterns and textures might be seen as adventurous, open-minded, and creative. On the other hand, An individual with a more minimalist and monochrome wardrobe may suggest a preference for simplicity, order, and perhaps even a methodical approach to life. It's important to remember, though, that these interpretations can vary significantly from one person to another. Individual style is often a reflection of personal history, cultural background, and individual preferences. Cultural context. Cultural influences also play a significant role in how we interpret clothing choices. In some cultures, specific colors or styles carry particular meanings. For instance, wearing white in certain Asian cultures can symbolize mourning, while in Western contexts, it often signifies purity and new beginnings. Being aware of these cultural nuances is crucial to understanding the full context of someone's attire. Clothing can serve as a bridge to broader discussions about identity, heritage, and values, and recognizing these elements can foster deeper connections. Personal choices and identity. Another layer to consider is the intent behind the clothing choices. Some individuals may dress to impress, using fashion as a tool for self-expression and communication. Others may prioritize comfort and practicality, choosing attire that enables them to move freely and feel at ease. In this way, clothing choices can reflect an individual's life priorities and circumstances. Someone wearing athletic wear may be signaling an active lifestyle or a focus on health and fitness, while another person in a designer outfit might emphasize their social aspirations or professional ambitions. Avoiding snap judgments. While clothing can provide valuable insights, it's crucial to avoid making snap judgments based solely on appearance. People are multifaceted, and their attire might not always represent their true self. For example, someone dressed casually might be an accomplished professional outside of their relaxed outfit, or someone in a bright, flamboyant ensemble may be dealing with personal struggles behind the scenes. The key is to use clothing as one of many tools in your observational toolkit, complementing it with other cues such as body language, facial expressions, and verbal communication. Creating connections. Finally, when engaging with someone, consider using their clothing as a conversation starter. Complimenting their outfit or inquiring about their style choices can open the door to meaningful dialogue and help establish rapport. This approach allows you to connect on a personal level, demonstrating interest and attentiveness, while also providing them an opportunity to express themselves further. In summary, the clothes someone wears can be a rich source of information about their personality, mood, and intentions. By observing and interpreting these choices with sensitivity and awareness, you can enhance your ability to read people effectively, foster empathy, and build deeper, more meaningful connections. Remember that while attire can provide insights, the essence of understanding people lies in recognizing the complete picture, one that encompasses not just what they wear, but who they are as individuals. The context of silence. The context in which silence occurs is crucial for interpretation. For example, in a casual conversation among friends, a comfortable silence might suggest camaraderie and ease. Conversely, in a tense negotiation or during a critical discussion, silence can feel heavy and filled with unspoken tension. Being mindful of the setting can help you better understand the emotions at play and respond appropriately. Cultural perspectives on silence. Cultural norms also influence the interpretation of silence. In some cultures, silence is valued as a sign of respect or contemplation, while in others, it may be perceived as awkward or uncomfortable. Familiarizing yourself with the cultural background of the people you interact with can enhance your ability to interpret these silent moments accurately. It can also help prevent misunderstandings that may arise from differing interpretations of what silence means. Silence and emotional intelligence. Embracing silence requires a degree of emotional intelligence. It invites you to tune into not just your own feelings, but also the emotional landscape of those around you. Practicing mindfulness during these moments can deepen your understanding of the other person's emotional state, enabling you to respond with empathy and sensitivity. This awareness fosters an environment where individuals feel safe to express their thoughts and feelings, knowing that their silence will be respected and understood. Using silence effectively. In conversations, you can also strategically use silence to your advantage. Pausing before responding can encourage others to elaborate on their thoughts or feelings, giving them space to share more than they initially intended. It can signal that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say and are willing to engage in a deeper dialogue. In summary, understanding silence is a critical component of mastering the art of reading people. It is not merely the absence of sound, but a rich tapestry of emotional expression and meaning. By paying attention to the nuances of silence and the context in which it occurs, you can gain invaluable insights into the thoughts and feelings of those around you. Embrace these moments, as they offer a unique opportunity to foster deeper connections, enhance communication, and navigate the complexities of human interaction with greater skill and awareness. 13. The walk and the talk. A person's walk can be a revealing window into their mood, confidence, and overall emotional state. Think of it as an unspoken language that conveys messages long before words even come into play. The way someone carries themselves can provide you with insights that help you gauge how they're feeling at that moment. The confidence and stride. When someone walks with their head held high and strides confidently, they often exude an aura of self-assurance. This strong posture, characterized by purposeful movements and a relaxed gait, often indicates that the individual is feeling good about themselves and their current situation. Such a confident walk may suggest that they are comfortable in their surroundings and ready to engage with others. This kind of energy can be contagious, drawing people in and creating an atmosphere of positivity and assurance. The signs of hesitation. Conversely, when you encounter someone who shuffles along with their head down, it can signal feelings of shyness, insecurity, or distraction. This less assertive gait may indicate that they are uncertain about themselves or the environment they are in. Their body language might suggest that they wish to remain unnoticed, possibly due to feeling overwhelmed or anxious. Understanding these cues can help you approach them with more empathy and patience, offering support where needed. Observing movement patterns. It's also worth noting that the way people walk can vary in different contexts. For instance, a person may walk confidently in a familiar setting, but appear more hesitant in a new or uncomfortable environment. By paying close attention to these subtle changes in movement, you can gain a deeper understanding of how they perceive their surroundings and their comfort level within them. Observing the dynamics of their movements can also provide context for their feelings during specific interactions. The impact of environment. The environment plays a significant role in how people choose to walk. In a bustling crowd, individuals might adopt a brisk pace to navigate through, signaling urgency or determination. Conversely, in a serene park setting, a leisurely stroll might indicate relaxation and openness to engaging in conversation. The context in which a person walks can reveal their emotional landscape and how they relate to their surroundings. In summary, the way someone walks can tell you a lot about their confidence and emotional state. By paying attention to these nonverbal cues, you can enhance your understanding of those around you and adapt your interactions accordingly. Recognizing the subtleties in their movements can help you connect more deeply with others and create a more supportive and empathetic environment. 14. The dynamics of personal space. Personal space is an essential element of human interaction, acting as a silent indicator of how comfortable someone feels in your presence. The concept of personal space varies greatly across cultures and individuals, making it an intriguing area of study for those looking to enhance their interpersonal skills. Understanding personal boundaries. When engaging in conversation, the distance between you and the other person can speak volumes. If someone leans in closely while talking, it can signal that they enjoy your company, feel a connection, or are genuinely interested in the discussion. This proximity can foster a sense of intimacy, signaling that they trust you and are open to sharing more personal thoughts and feelings. The intrusion of space. However, if someone keeps encroaching on your personal space despite your attempts to step back, it may indicate that they are not picking up on your nonverbal cues. This behavior could stem from a variety of factors, including cultural differences in spatial awareness or a lack of understanding of social boundaries. In such cases, it's important to navigate the interaction with sensitivity. Gently adjusting your distance can signal your need for personal space without causing discomfort. Cultural considerations. It's crucial to recognize that personal space boundaries can vary widely between cultures. In some societies, close proximity during conversation is a sign of warmth and familiarity, while in others, it may feel invasive. Being aware of these cultural nuances allows you to engage more effectively and respectfully with individuals from diverse backgrounds. This awareness can help prevent misunderstandings that may arise from differing interpretations of personal space. The importance of context. Context also plays a significant role in how personal space is perceived. In a crowded social gathering, people may naturally stand closer together, while in a formal business meeting, individuals may maintain more distance to signal professionalism. Recognizing the setting and adjusting your understanding of personal space accordingly can help you read social cues more accurately and respond appropriately. In conclusion, understanding the dynamics of personal space is key to navigating social interactions effectively. By paying attention to how close or distant someone stands during a conversation, you can gain valuable insights into their comfort level and emotional state. Recognizing the importance of personal space and adapting your behavior accordingly can lead to more meaningful connections and improved communication, allowing for richer and more fulfilling interactions with those around you. If you find this episode very interesting and educating, please don't forget to leave us a like, hit that notification bell for more updates, and subscribe to our channel if you are new here, as a way of encouraging us so we can be bringing you more interesting topics like this. And to our returning subscribers, we say thank you so much for encouragement. Till we meet again in our next video. Remain blessed, stay strong, and healthy.